Now, being a woman who, I had my baby bump, many of you have had baby bumps. I never remember my baby bump squat. Just take a look at the video. Okay, so here's Beyonce, and she's walking out, and everything is fine. She's 5 months pregnant. Then she sits down, and, okay, no, we're gonna rerun it until you see it. Let's do it in slow motion. You'll notice she's either giving birth to a Frisbee or Stewie from Family Guy. Look at the shape. Look, do you see? There it is, there it is. What that is, B?
Y'all, Wendy Williams was the first one to look at America in 2011 and ask the question nobody else had the nerve to ask out loud. What is wrong with Beyonce's baby bump? Drama pages online have been saying for over a decade she got silenced for what she knew. And once you line up what Beyonce's own daddy said on the radio in 2015, you start to understand why. Sit down, let me get into it. The theory been alive for over a decade. Fans online have been saying for years that Solange ain't Beyonce's little sister, that Solange is her daughter, that Beyonce had a baby as a teenager. The family covered it, and the world has been calling that child a sibling ever since. Drama pages been pulling up side-by-side photos, old interviews, birth certificate rumors, and the receipts? Y'all, the receipts make the theory hard to dismiss. Start with what Wendy actually said. November 2011, Beyonce had just done that Australian talk show where her belly looked like it folded when she sat down. Whole internet seen it. Wendy got on her show and said it plain. Said she never remembered her own baby bump squashing, bending, and crumpling like that. She wasn't accusing nobody of nothing crazy. She was just asking why a pregnant woman's stomach moved like that on national television. Drama pages saying she was the first major host to publicly question the timeline. And what happened next? Wendy got diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia in 2023, placed under guardianship in 2022. That's still going as of right now.
So I have questions. If Wendy Williams and her team decide to release her medical information, I want to know why, at least to the outside observer, does it seem like she's getting better and not worse if indeed she does have frontotemporal dementia? Who gave her the test? Which neurological tests were administered? Was there just one physician or were there multiple independent physicians? Was she on any type of medication or sedative during the test?
Any reactions to the your medical report that does hold up the dementia diagnosis?
No, and my attorneys are highly upset.
They are?
Yes, my attorneys are highly upset.
Okay, good.
Diamond, yeah.
And what about the, do you have anything you want to say to your conservator?
I want to say hi to my attorneys, Alan Diamond, all right, and Joe Tacopina.
Cool.
Those are my attorneys. And I will get out of guardian.
Online, they've been saying for years, what happens to people who ask the wrong questions about Beyonce and Jay-Z? Fans online keep posting that exact framing.
Wendy Williams does not have frontotemporal dementia. Sources with direct knowledge tell us that Wendy Williams underwent a battery of neurological tests, and her neurologist concluded that she does not have frontotemporal dementia. This finding contradicts an earlier test result, which had reportedly shown that she did test positive for dementia. Experts say that frontotemporal dementia does not get better, it only gets worse.
Now, to be clear, Wendy has a real diagnosed condition. That's medically documented. But the timing of her decline alongside everything else, drama page has been connecting dots since the day the news dropped. But here is where the conspiracy stops being just internet chatter and starts having actual receipts. October 2015, Mathew Knowles, Beyonce's own father, sat down on Power 105.1's Breakfast Club. And in the middle of telling a story about the Atlanta music scene, Mathew said L.A. Reid had a girls group at the time and Pink was the lead singer.
Then we signed to Daryl Simmons, who was partners with L.A. Reid and Babyface in Atlanta. And these guys had this competitiveness. L.A. had a girls group. I bet you don't know who his lead singer was.
No.
Pink.
Oh.
She's the exact same age as Beyonce, and there used to be this battle which group was better. You had Usher, he was the same age. They were all 14 and 15 years old living in Atlanta.
Y'all, Pink was born in 1979. Usher was born in 1978. Beyonce's official birth year is 1981. If those three were all 14 or 15 years old together, that math don't math, baby. That math puts Beyonce in 1978 or 1979, 2 to 3 years older than the world thinks she is.
And they've been just practicing their hearts out, and this is Beyonce. Now tell me about getting over the stage fright. I mean, how did this go from having fun and singing for a few people to where, I mean, you're going to go out there and you're going to try to make it big?
Well, I guess if we keep on practicing and we keep on performing, every time we get better and the stage fright just fades away.
And it wasn't a rumor, it wasn't a drama page, it wasn't a blog. It was Beyoncé's father on a radio show with millions of listeners accidentally telling on his own daughter's age. And once people had Mathew's quote, they started pulling up everything else. Gabrielle Union in 2008 said, "Bey and I have been friends since we were teenagers." Sis, Gabrielle Union was born in 1972. If Beyoncé was born in 1981, that means Gabrielle was 18 when Beyoncé was 9. They wasn't teenage friends. The math don't math again. Drama pages alleging an anonymous former Columbia Records employee posted online claiming they saw Beyoncé's driver's license listing 1974 as her birth year on her manager's computer. An anonymous Texas Department of Health employee allegedly leaked a 1974 birth certificate too. The Texas Department of Health publicly said it was fake, for the record, but once those numbers entered the conversation, they never left. If Beyoncé was actually born in 1974, that means she would have been around 11 or 12 when Solange was born in 1986. A child carrying a child. Drama pages saying that's why Tina and Mathew rushed the family to Houston. That's why Solange had her own son Jules at 17 with Daniel Smith, a real, verifiable teen pregnancy that Tina addresses in her Matriarch memoir, because online they saying the pattern was already set in this family.
I remember it was a big public story when Solange became a teenage mother. You take us behind the scenes of how you dealt with that.
Yes.
Because in the public it was like, oh my God, she's a teenager. And behind the scenes.
And they are terrible parents. You know, that's what people were saying. They think they could say anything because I'm a nice person and I'm accessible.
Tell me how Beyoncé's own daddy slipped up on national radio and told the whole truth and Black Hollywood just pretended it didn't happen? Now, Mathew has said some erratic things publicly. This is the same man who, in that same 2015 interview, claimed the whole Solange and Jay-Z elevator fight was Jedi mind tricks. So you take what he says with a grain of salt. But the Pink and Usher quote is documented. The math is the math. And folks online been saying for 10 years. Mathew didn't slip. He told, and let's talk about why this conspiracy roared back to life in 2024. Because Tina Knowles divorced Richard Lawson in August 2024, and the divorce settlement included a non-disparagement clause. Y'all, Tina paid Richard $300,000 one time. Both waived spousal support. And in that paperwork, Richard is legally barred from speaking negatively about Tina, about her children, about her children's spouses, about her grandchildren. The clause specifically protects any and all present or future grandchildren. Blue Ivy, Rumi, Sir, legally locked down in a divorce document. Now publicly, Richard has been gracious. He praised Tina's Matriarch memoir to Parade last October, gave a measured interview about Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. He ain't saying nothing crazy, but that clause exists, baby. And the streets been asking the question Tina don't want asked. If there's nothing to hide, why does a divorce settlement need to legally protect what Richard can say about your grandchildren? What kind of marriage ends with a non-disparagement contract covering babies? Drama pages alleging Tina knew exactly what receipts that man left with and made sure they could never see daylight. Now the family's defense is on the record. Tina addressed the fake pregnancy rumors head-on in Matriarch, called them horrendous.
And what they didn't know is that my child had been through a couple miscarriages, which were so painful.
We didn't know that at the time, yes.
It was so painful, and that you're going to take something so sacred when she finally should be so happy and take it and turn it into fodder for gossip. It was horrible.
Said the period was one of the worst times of her life. Said she helped Beyoncé hide the pregnancy with wardrobe tricks until the 2011 VMA reveal. Official birth records say 1981. Beyoncé and Solange's relationship as sisters is on every red carpet of the last 20 years. So the family answer is, this is internet folklore. Leave it alone. But the receipts, the math, the Mathew quote, the Gabrielle quote, the Wendy silencing, and now a divorce NDA covering grandchildren children who supposedly nobody needs to lie about? Online, they keep asking, what is this family hiding? So tell me, is this all just internet nonsense? Or did Mathew tell on his own family in 2015 and nobody wanted to hear it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me what you really think. Hit that like, subscribe if you new around here. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, baddies.